Hey there folks, so true to my word, I'm trying to update the tutorial with basically every new strat that I find, and shortly after I published my tutorial to begin with, Beco, I think actually might be how you pronounce his name, he's a Japanese runner, came up with a really interesting way to make the basement skip, what's the word, not consecutive, consistent. There it is. There's the word. Anyway, he found a really good way to make the basement skip consistent, and it's actually really creative. But in order to do that, in order to show you how that works, I'm actually going to show you something else. It's a mechanic in Nemo that we knew about, we've known about for a long time, but hasn't actually really been useful, and that's called left zipping. So, first of all, just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, we have the basement skip right here, which you should all be familiar about if you watched the original tutorial, or if you've been running Nemo in general. And basically the idea is something like that. Now what happened there is actually a couple of different things. You saw me pause there at the beginning. That's actually just a safety measure to make sure that if I don't jump off at the right point, I can go back and undo what I did. So if I load my state again, see if I pause right there, and actually I think I am at the right spot. But if I were at the wrong spot, I can now unpause, hold right, and go back and try again if I jumped off at the wrong point. You have to jump off at the very last pixel right here, and do the jump just right in order to hit the zip and get across. Before I actually explain what's going on there, you guys just saw me do it. I want to go ahead and load up a different part of the game. We're going to load up Nightmare 3, which is the place where we actually discovered that you can zip left to begin with in the game. Anyway, you can't zip right, but you can zip left. So give me just a second, and I'll pull that up. Okay, so here we are in Nightmare 3. I'm about to get the lizard because he's going to be able to help me show you what I mean by left zipping. Now, if you're not familiar with the zip, basically, it's a term, you see it a lot in Mega Man runs, that refers to the fact that you can, a lot of times, clip through objects or walls, and the game won't know where to put you, so it'll zip you really far over in the level. Now, normally, in Mega Man games, if you've seen those runs, we zip right and left. I think there actually might be, I don't know if there's left zips in Mega Man or not, I don't know, most of them are right. But in Nemo, we can't zip right, we can only zip left. And basically what's happening is when you zip, I'll explain this as I'm going to save a state here so you guys can see it. And then I'm going to hold left and cancel out of my lizard and watch what happens. Now I've zipped all the way back to the beginning of this cave area. So what's happening there is in Nemo, when you cancel out of an animal, Nemo will actually end up one block higher than the animal that he's riding on. So what happens is if you're holding down left and you go up one block, there's nowhere for Nemo to go. He literally clips into the ceiling. And so the game doesn't know what to do with that because you're in an out of bounds area, and then it zips you. It basically just moves you in a straight line left to get you out of that out of bounds area, and wherever that first empty space is, that's where you'll end up. Meaning, you hold left and boom, now I'm out here, and you can see this is almost enough for us to use this as an exploit to get up there on that ledge and get the mouse. Obviously, it despawned him. You can do this so that it doesn't. See, there he is right there. Now, I've actually toyed around with the idea of possibly beam jumping off of this invisible platform I'm on. It doesn't seem to be possible. If somebody else figures it out, please prove me wrong. But this is the idea. In Nemo, you zip left, and obviously it freaks the game out a little bit if you do it too much. So that's the principle that Beco is using in order to do his consistent basement skip. So with that in mind, we're going to reload up the basement skip, and I'll break down exactly what's going on. Okay, so here we are back at the basement skip. This should look familiar again to anybody who's actually tried to run the game before. Now, traditionally, I think even in my tutorial I said, you know, I never go for the frog. I just cancel out and let Nemo do the short hop on his own and hope that I make it. I have done that in a couple of PBs. And it does work. I would say I'm probably 30% consistent at it or something like that. But what the Beco strat offers us is a way to be 100% consistent all the time because it allows us to correct for our mistakes. And what I mean by that is I can come over here and jump, and I already know that's not the right position. So I'm gonna, if I jump and pause right away, I can see where I am and know, okay, I'm not close enough to that magic pixel that's gonna let me get over the jump. So I can hold down right as I unpause, and I go right back and I can try again. That's the beauty of this skip, especially if you're not very good at it. You can try this as many times as you want and reset, as long as you don't go too far and fall down the hole, and then obviously you can't do it. But I'm going to try to do it right here, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. Alright, so this may be an optimal placement. It may not. It's kind of hard for me to tell. I think I may actually be slightly 1 pixel off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across, and then you're going to see me hit the ceiling, and then I'm going to cancel. Now, I'm not going to cancel the pixel that I hit the ceiling. I'm actually going to try to cancel like 1 pixel later when I'm off of the ceiling. Because if you cancel right when you bump your head on the ceiling, you won't go far enough. And I'll actually just demonstrate that, how to do it wrong here real quick. See? I don't know if you guys could see it, but I'll play it back. And you can see that the screen does jump ever so slightly. There's a really small zip that I do. I mean, it might be a pixel, 2 pixels wide, this zip. This is not the ideal zip you want. This means that you hit select too early. You hit it when your sprite's head hit the ceiling. You want to hit it right after the sprite drops. So let me do it again. So right there, I obviously hit it too late. And you don't zip at all, so you don't want to do that. Right there, got it. And if you noticed, I hit select right as the frog's head got off of the ceiling. And then you get that little left zip, and it knocks you about 1 block away, and then you have the basement skip. It's right there. It's actually pretty easy to get consistent at this once you actually know what causes it and what you're looking at. And that's actually a really important part of Nemo in general, is you've got to know how the game acts, because it doesn't act like a lot of games usually do. But anyway, so that's the basement skip. That's how you do it. I'm going to do it one more time and slow it down just so you can see exactly what's happening. And then that'll be it for this video. So here we go. And there you go. That's the basement skip. Really not that bad. You know, it's one of those things. It's just repetition. I usually use my what is that? My ring finger for the A button, and my pointer for the start and the select button, and that's pretty much how I hold my hand. It's kind of like the cutscene skip. You gotta hold your hand a weird way, and then once you get the hang of it, I mean, it's really pretty easy to do. So hopefully that's helpful, you guys. I know that's gonna definitely change the way I run the game. But I've seen a lot of people trying to do it, or not a lot of people. I've seen a few people trying to do it since that world record run came out. Not really understanding quite, I think, what was going on. So I just wanted to make a tutorial, just kind of explaining, okay, these are the mechanics that are at work. So hopefully that's helpful, and looking forward to seeing those runs hit the leaderboard. So you guys have a great night, and I'll see you next time.